Welcome back to AP Plus Podcast. I'm Anto.
And I'm Phil. And today's plus is
me, Elliot.
Elliot.
Hey, Elliot.
Elliot.
And today we're...
Sorry,
I've never heard that one, actually. That's the first time I heard it.
I know it's super real. Hey, you know what? I knew it. I knew that it was not original, but it's very fitting, god damn it.
And on December 3rd, we are going to be exploring one of the greatest mysteries of the universe, questioning, are we alone?
Yes. I mean, no.
Obviously. No, we know the answer to that question. It's not really a mystery.
Well,
plenty of people they just know
There's no proof.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people have been taken, dude. They've been molested.
I'm pretty sure that if there were aliens out there, that it does make a lot of sense that they would want to sneak around on Earth in UFOs, not actually present themselves, just kind of like test humans, not like leave any evidence behind.
Like if there were really beings intelligent enough to reach
they're
Earth.
like super intelligent beings with with UFOs that can fly around the Earth, and they just do all in secret. And they're like, let's never reveal ourselves to them.
So the hieroglyphics are correct.
Let's just be sparkling lights in the sky and like weird, stories in people's dreams.
You really think that?
No, I'm sorry. I'm being ridiculously sarcastic. I'm trying to say it from like a dumb point of view.
No.
People don't know.
love Sarcastaball.
Do that episode.
That's stupid.
I mean, okay.
But even that idea though, when you think about it like that, like they would fly around.
In like metal ships with blinking lights in our range of visible light. I mean, if they wanted to sneak, they wouldn't be blinking lights.
Like we would be an interest to them if that's what they could do. And they would just kind of secretly mess around with us.
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Humans are pretty good at making other people disappear without being seen. I think a superior being would be playing. I don't believe it's happening, obviously.
No.
But, hey, it's a cool thought.
Yeah, what was that thing you were saying about how aliens would only interact with us if once we get to our moon and we leave a message? Or what was that about?
I don't know. I think it's like
the Space Odyssey.
The monolith idea. I don't know
the monolith.
But you were telling me, I don't know if it's actually from that movie.
It's that concept is very, very similar to how kind of Star Trek deals with that kind of when they get involved on a planet. Wait until the planet reaches a certain level. In like one of the movies, they did something where it was like First Contact. So basically, once humans could achieve warp, aliens would contact us and be like, all right, you guys, you're actually something we have to deal with now, Like you can actually travel to us, finally, you're an issue, we have to start talking to you.
Oh, yeah. So like they would, I can't remember where this idea came from. Maybe you could check it, but it's like, the idea that you leave a message behind on the moon of a planet that has life developing on it. You leave it on the dark side, I guess, but I don't know if it really matters that much. And that if you do that, you could leave a lot of information there, and a species wouldn't be able to get to it until they were advanced enough to fly there. And fly to their moon.
Yeah, the first monolith discovered in
It's like a natural barrier that you can kind of rely on. I guess that's what we think.
So basically, an intelligent alien species creates a monolith type thing full of knowledge and things.
Whatever it is, it could be technology. Yeah. We don't exactly know because we're not advanced enough.
And it's just far enough away that it requires a civilization.
Our moon, which would be the first space exploration we would ever go to.
Yeah.
We're talking about like an alien race that's extremely advanced, where they would be concerned about what their contact with us, like Star Trek.
Sure. Yeah. Being responsible.
Yeah, that's the idea. And I don't know.
What if it was there and we just didn't explore that part of the moon?
Well, we've explored a lot of the moon at this point, like through photographs and things. But on foot, we've seen very, very little of the moon.
Yeah, they could have buried it.
Ooh, they could have buried it.
Maybe when we start mining the moon,
maybe
we'll start digging shit up.
It's not enough that we just send satellites there. We have to be technologically advanced to like
detect it.
To find it just buried in the moon. We have to be scanners that are sophisticated and granular enough to just like comb through it all.
And I really don't know, how much of that kind of data they've been able to collect from the moon.
Like if there was a if there was like a spaceship crashed on the moon, like the size of a helicopter, would we know? Besides taking pictures of it, if say it was just buried a few meters under the surface, would we have any idea?
Yeah, that's a good point.
If it wasn't visibly there for us to just take a picture,
because we haven't even explored a large percentage of Earth as is.
I mean, like maybe we take X-rays. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with it, but maybe we don't. Maybe we actually are ignorant of stuff like that because we literally have to send a probe, like a rover, on there.
We should have to check the specs of the Mars rover.
Yeah.
Dude, the things that they have, I mean, we sort of leave imprints behind by the Mars rover's wheels actually leaves, it's almost like a paragraph. It says something in the wheel. So if you were to decode the wheel markings, it would leave a message saying that this is from Earth.
Saying
really?
American number one.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
That's bizarre. What a weird
what is it?
That's how smart you have to be an astronaut. I don't know what it says, but it does have a message.
Yeah.
Man, that took me forever to get out.
I think it says America's is number one.
America. Or we could be like a South Park where aliens come to us, they give us space money, and then we don't know what to do with it, and we spend it all. That episode is
murder the alien.
It's so right. That's how we would do it.
What's the name of that plate that we sent into space with the information on it? The pictures of us.
I don't remember what the plate's called.
The Voyager plate, I think. Yeah, Voyager something. But no, that would be kind of similar. I mean, yeah, when we send messages out into space, those are the kinds of messages we send.
Yeah. I mean, there's such like shots in the dark, you know, but it is
the Pioneer plaque.
Pioneer plaque.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look at this thing. Like, how, if you were to read that, if you saw that in a book, what the fuck would that mean?
Yeah.
You know, like boobs, wiener. I'm thinking about porn.
Well, even if you
all you're thinking, dude. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know about the aliens.
If you had never seen a human being before, you know, then you wouldn't even know what the fuck those things were. You just said, like, there wouldn't be, like, you wouldn't be an alien looking at that guy being, that's a penis.
Yeah.
Because who knows if aliens even, you know, bang the same way we do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. Like, that's one thing I find really interesting about the thought of extraterrestrial life is just.
I'm pretty sure aliens would just rub tips. That's how they do it. That would be it.
I mean, I think there's Earth life that just basically rub each other's skin.
Yeah, it's called teenagers.
It's efficient, all right? It's just, you know, there's no mess. There's no
fucking hipsters.
There's no tricks. It's just rub tips and walk away.
You know, boom.
Simplicity. That's what nature's all about.
What a strange thought that life could be at a different scale than a human. You know, like something maybe we can't see.
Yeah.
Perhaps whether too big or too small.
I mean, like, this is a super long shot, but, you know, like the universe is so much dark matter. It's like there's a lot going on. Like, what if, like you're saying, what if we're just inside of something, you know, bigger? And then what there's, because we know there's things inside of us. They're not like us, obviously.
Yeah, but there's millions of bacteria inside.
Yeah, exactly. They're not like the human intelligence down there working
Even
in our
on
stomachs, but
they're not partying.
Still, there's a high level of information going on in a weird, small little area.
Yeah, there's a whole ecosystem.
Yeah. And then if you go to one scale bigger, it doesn't mean they look like us, bigger than us. You know, it might literally just, we might be part of something that's so unrecognizable.
What defines an alien? Is it consciousness? Is it size? Is it that we actually found a moving thing? Could water technically different types of molecules or protons? Is that an alien?
Alien life, like just how we define life here on Earth, but just not from Earth.
I think it would be self-replicating.
That would be the most uninteresting definition of it. I mean, we're obviously most interested in intelligent life.
Exactly.
That probably most likely even technology creating life, you know. Although it would be very interesting to find animals on another planet. It would be what we're really in search for is animals that make rockets and
animals who think about
the same things we think about.
Yeah.
You know, because we can't. I mean, we can't communicate with the animals very well on Earth. So it would suck if we found extraterrestrials and they happen to be a weird kind of intelligence, but we just couldn't communicate with them.
Yeah, weird. What would that be like? What kind of alien would like fly ships around, but literally be be in a different world? It would have no interest in, or not interest, but it would just look at us like these weird animals, and we would look at them like these weird animals, even though they would have their own thing going on.
Like,
it's really intelligent. Like,
who's to say they even like have eyes like we do?
Yeah,
mouths, ears.
Okay,
What if they
that's
sense the world a different way?
Weird.
You know, it's like the only reason, like, you know, a blind man has no idea what the world looks like. You can't describe the world to someone who's born blind. Like, that idea of sight is so foreign to them. Like, what if there was a species that evolved to sense something else instead of all the stuff we sense? You know, like you would find them and they'd be looking at you, kind of, but like they don't have eyes, mouths, ears. They're just like sensing your presence.
Yeah, you just feel your energy or
like
radiation or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on.
So like there's, for example, there's like ticks. I think it is. They don't have eyes, right? They exist in a world of just temperature and smell. Okay. And when the conditions are right, they know to bite. That's rhymes. Yeah, what's up? And and I think that's kind of the world they live in. They jump when they like around when they feel different like they feel, but they don't have eyes to react with.
Sure.
I hope I'm talking about ticks, but I know there's animals like this.
There's definitely,
can't see.
Yeah.
And they just live in a world of other kinds of senses.
I mean, even the idea of like sonar sight is foreign. It is hard for a human to fully imagine. You know, we have decent hearing, but we don't have the ability to see with our ears.
Yeah.
We can rough.
Like an owl.
There's like 10, 15 points around us worth of data that we'd be able to recognize. You know, like you hear a pin drop, you'd know like a meter or two squared roughly where it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if you were blind, maybe you'd have a much stronger
sense. No, that's
sense.
true. Yeah.
Maybe that sense would just become a much more enriched.
Yeah.
With the lack of something like eyes to use all the time.
Yeah, I have seen people who can, like they're blind. They use like they actually do use sound to travel, and it seems pretty rare. But
I saw this one really unique karate movie where there was a guy who was blind.
Was he blinded by pocket sand?
And he would use his ears to react.
And then he would imagine back to his training, and it'd be the pinnacle of his life in that moment.
There's actually, I used to love cheesy kung fu movies when I was growing up. There's one in particular called Ninja and the Deadly Trap. I swear that was its name. I looked for it online. I can't even find it.
What was it called?
Ninja in the Deadly Trap.
That sounds epic.
And it was great. I used to watch it on repeat. I used to watch it on repeat. And I swear to you, it had these like three brothers who find each other through fighting, you know? And he's like, they do a move and they're like, oh my God, you're my brother. Like in the middle of a fight. It's so bad, but it was great.
That sounds
the dubbing, the English dubbing over it.
It's a straight up Chinese movie, or
it was
Chinese?
So their lips didn't even move, and it was weird. I was too young to understand it, so it was a little mesmerizing. It was just like, what is that? How do they talk like that? Yeah, so kung fu movies. Yeah, fuck aliens, kung fu movies, guys. I'm kidding.
What if? Okay, how about this, you guys? What if we become so friendly with aliens that we start competing with them in kung fu?
In kung fu?
Yeah. In martial arts.
We're writing movies now.
It would be galaxy mixed martial arts.
Competition in
space.
Making bigger spaceships.
With kicks and punches.
Or traveling faster in space, racing.
I'm down. Space races?
Dude, I was just going to say, let's do some space exploration.
Yeah, I'm going to beat those aliens at space races. We'll be like...
Can you imagine we just go drag racing in space? We're like, come on.
I know. We'll have a bunch of sponsorships all over our ships.
Yeah.
Flying, and people will be watching us fly for thousands of years in a straight line across the universe. It's all about endurance. Yeah. It's an endurance sport.
You guys think we're going to Mars?
Humans?
Do you think we're going to actually save Earth before we ever get to that point?
I think we'll send humans to Mars in the next probably 10, 15 years. I mean, I'm hoping.
Something tells me, though, I think we have a chance that we might opt for sending robots there before we send humans there, depending on the progression of things.
Yeah.
Just like, for example, imagine a versatile walking robot like Boston Dynamics or Asimo or something in between that's NASA, produced. And here on Earth, even someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson can put on a VR helmet and some gloves, and, and look and like have his take on how he would look. I know he's not I don't think he's like the kind of person who would examine rocks.
But I'm sure they would let him.
Sure, but he would. Yeah, he would definitely be the kind of person like, "Hey, can I check it out?" And they'd be like,
he'd
"Yes,
be like,
please."
Giddy as a schoolboy.
Sure,
probably.
yeah.
Oh my God!
But I mean, I think they could use that as a tool for the kind of the same people that they would send there.
Absolutely.
They're like they can have here at the safety of Earth with and they could still be scientists on Mars in a lab
and they could be
NASA.
people who might not have the physique or the health to be astronauts.
That's kind of why. But that's why I pointed him out, Neil deGrasse Tyson, in a way where it's like he would. Yeah, I'm sure he would love to do it, but he can't just be an astronaut.
Yeah, he's not
like so many people can't. It's like.
I know, and you think about all the resources that if you send people, you have to send them water, you have to send them food.
They could
technically,
die.
Yeah, exactly. A robot could be programmed to go back to the station every night, and then it could charge on like a solar panel.
Yeah, it could have the lander
plugs in,
have a giant
and then
solar panel. Yeah,
that's the only thing. There's no need for an atmosphere. There's no need for shielding from radiation of the sun. There's just nothing.
Here's one issue though. Is this a time lapse between Earth and Mars?
Yeah.
And it's a bit of time. I'm not
Absolutely,
sure how much time.
I think one of the things
might be. I know it's 8 minutes to the sun.
Yeah.
So maybe a minute or something.
So wait, what do you mean by that? What's the problem?
Is that with VR, it couldn't be real time. With current technology, it could be real time.
I know you're saying.
You couldn't control a robot in absolute real time, but what you could do is control it in a game-like engine.
You could scan it,
and it would be real time for you, and it would just delay the things. Now you couldn't interact with like rocks in real time,
but you could say, "Do it,"
Yeah,
dig up this area,
yeah.
and then you could even explore the digital world while the robot's doing something.
What if we constantly had like spaceships going there? So that robot picked up a rock, you put on a spaceship, that spaceship comes back to Earth, and then we have another one. I don't know.
Getting materials back to Earth is a long way away. I think
putting it in orbit.
It's just so heavy,
That's
and
why
it's
they
like
talk about space elevators.
I mean, yeah, getting off of Mars is a lot more difficult than getting off of the moon. The moon, they had just like these like base little rockets on this little pod. Just it wasn't like a big, huge shuttle level engine. But off of Mars, you would need something pretty big.
Yeah.
So like the lander would have to unfortunately with current tech.
Yeah, we'd have to send it there, and it would need to be able to set itself up with enough fuel and everything to fire itself back up,
solar
and
panels,
come all the way back and re-enter. It's a pretty immense thing. I mean, just getting it there and having it complete its mission and then just die on Mars is hard enough.
Yeah.
Right at the moment, rather than bringing
actually maybe that's one of the big reasons why we don't send people, because how are we going to get them back?
Yeah.
Like we can send humans to Mars.
Man, that Mars One thing.
It's such a scam.
I
hate that shit.
It was so weird when I first saw it. I was just like, I couldn't. It was. I think though it's actually kind of interesting because you see all the people, regardless of the fact that they were like fooled by it, but just the excitement people get and the
people
idea
were hopeful
that we're just going to start colonizing Mars, and it's just that simple. And in a way, it reminded me of like that instinct that we have, of just to procreate and occupy, space, just because it's our genes.
According to this website, it says escape velocity of Mars is actually less than escape velocity of Earth.
Oh.
So I knew that.
Still,
it's not as much as the moon, though.
It's still
the moon.
I was saying that leaving Mars, it's going to be less than the Earth, of course, but it's still going to be hard. Like the moon is very little. Like the moon, I wonder if it probably says on here somewhere what the moon is. Not on this website probably, but what I'm saying is we'd almost have to build another rocket to send us back.
Yeah, it's just the fact
that we're on the moon, we didn't,
and have fuel. And
on the moon, we just like jumped.
We basically had this thing in orbit around the moon. Yeah, so it didn't have to use any fuel.
And then we
we had this little thing that was and just like a couple bursts out of orbit. Where Mars would definitely require. It would
take full.
It would need something big, but not as big as obviously off of Earth.
Matt Damon did it.
I never saw that movie.
Spoiler!
Did you just spoil the movie for me? No, I'm just kidding. I figured, but I didn't know. Yeah. It's okay. I just got the whole Superman Batman movie ruined for me. So
you can't spoil Quality Tears. The movie No, it's a good movie.
I'll see it eventually.
The Martian.
I'm not someone who
TM.
really needs, to
Damon.
not know
Starring Matt
stories to enjoy them.
I wonder where we're going to find the first life. I think it's going to be in our solar system, honestly. I think it's going to be somewhere on a moon of Saturn.
That's totally possible under the
Under
oceans,
all the
under
ice.
the ice sheets, in the liquid oceans. It's possible. It's not the life that obviously is going to change our.
Could you imagine that day on the news where we found life, whether it's a bug or just a bacteria, whatever it may be, the tiniest thing, or it could be it's a fish or whatever can survive over there. But what would happen to everybody? Like everybody's minds would fucking explode.
It would change so much. It would change. It wouldn't change like the big questions, obviously. Like, are we like intelligently alone in the universe? But
and did God create
if
everybody?
we saw, it'd be our first example of non-human life, and we have no idea what that's like. We have no idea if DNA is a staple of it.
Yeah,
all this kind of stuff. So, even if it's a bacteria, it'd be a very, very important find. It would eliminate such a huge bit of ignorance that we have.
Absolutely.
Like right now, life is Earth's life, and that's it.
And that's it. Nothing else.
Yep.
It just blows my mind the science that we could learn from it and what we could change. For example, what we know now and what we think is fact today, and then the next day when we find this alien form, and then we realize we were totally wrong, and then how our minds quickly shift and believe that is fact. But I guess it's the best that we know right now. That's sort of what science is. It's not proving anything, but it's showing with reasonable doubt this is the best that we know.
It's just like a better answer.
Yeah.
We have answers. Answer? No, it's the best now.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
But it's just a better answer. It's not going to be. Hopefully, it's not the best answer. That's not as exciting.
Well, yeah, the best answer for now.
Yeah,
right.
But the best answer for now. So I think that's one of the strengths of kind of the scientific community is the willingness to say, okay, we were a little bit wrong. Here's new information. Or a lot of scientists are really hoping for a huge kind of bit of information that really changes how they see the universe, because I think consciousness is really what we're looking for.
It's like a bee or a beetle conscious.
I think
spider.
I'm going to argue no, but of course I could be proven wrong. But the reason I would say, especially those examples, is because
insects.
I would say a beehive is closer to being alive than a bee.
Yeah.
In the same way that a human isn't a colony, we are a multitude of a bunch of weird things, but ultimately.
But by the same kind of metaphor, like no human really understands a computer. No one human. Like one human may understand like how a chip on a computer is made or how a program on a computer is made, or like how the NASA, how they launch a rocket to the moon. No one person at NASA could handle it all. It's only as a giant team can we as humans even achieve stuff like that.
I totally agree.
Like run our societies too, but we still do it. We achieve it.
So you look like a beehive compared to a bee compared to a human. Yeah, like a bee. Humans there are similarities. We are part of something bigger than us.
Yeah,
but humanity's bigger is way more kick-ass.
Yeah, no, it's
than anything else we've ever seen.
It's like you guys scale it up.
Like you're saying, an individual human definitely. We're fucking animals.
Yeah.
Like throw me out in the forest and I would survive for like 10 years and I'd be killing things and then I'd just die one day from a tooth infection. But because of the multitude, because of the colony, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty chill.
So I guess consciousness pretty much divides mission versus thought. Like if an animal or bacteria could have a mission, but it's not conscious, whereas thought and bettering or exploration or turning wood into fire, that makes up consciousness.
Deep thought, deep problem solving, kind of seeing, imagining things that are not real in order to solve real problems, which is a pretty incredible feat. Imagination
land.
Imagination land.
Yeah, that's what we have that no one else has.
It's true.
When I was surfing today, I was thinking about how smart birds are to dive into the ocean and get food. You know, like they were not finding food in the air. They went into another element, water. They would dive into the water to find food, which, in a weird way, it just sort of blew my mind. Like how
it is really
strange.
Impressive. And I think that's one thing that humans kind of downplay is kind of how impressive nature is at doing things.
Yeah.
That bird didn't learn to do that. That bird was born with the instincts, with the programming. It knew exactly what to do.
I know.
It's weird.
But where did that come from?
Just through evolution, through billions of years.
But it's
DNA
just in your DNA. So that's what I'm saying. So here it is. It's in your DNA. So is your sperm, which carries DNA, is it conscious?
No, because a bird isn't conscious. I wouldn't consider a bird conscious.
I would
consider a bird.
Well, they're not like an insect, at least.
They're
give
higher
them
than
more
an
credit
insect,
than that. They have thoughts that are complicated.
Take that back a little bit. I don't believe most birds are
sure, they're all
conscious.
different. They are actually different. A finch is different from a parrot. Yeah, because where you're going.
Like some kind of you look at like
crows are intelligent.
Exactly. Crows are one of the most
crows are very intelligent.
Yeah.
And they will, that's one thing that I think we need to study more. And that birds may have a form of consciousness, but because their brains are so different than human brains, it's a very different type of intelligence. They evolved in a different branch than us quite a long time ago.
I just thought how crazy because no other, besides humans, no other animal does that. Like goes into another element to find food. Because no dolphin goes on land and no.
Well, yeah, the dolphin doesn't have the tools to go on land for sure.
Well, I guess like tigers and
seals
lions
and
go into.
Yeah, a lot of mammals.
Yeah, I guess some.
Polar bears.
Easier.
I take that back. There's actually a lot. Alligators do it.
Penguins.
Yeah, penguins do it. Yeah.
But I mean, I think most animals still kind of go in the line of programming because really, I mean, look, especially look at a cat or something. They have like levels of intelligence, but for the most part, they just sit there and they just do nothing.
Yeah.
And like I can count on my hands like what a cat does. They either they play, which is usually the same exact thing. They just chase whatever they see. Yeah. And they eat. Yep. And then they do,
and they beg for food.
They beg. They just make noises.
Yeah, and they rub against you, and you think, "Oh, I loved you. Now I want your food."
Like that's pretty. I mean, animals. It's pretty. They know humans can hear them.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of an impressive little feat, And
then they don't listen to us when we make noises at them. Damn it, cat.
Especially when you call their name. It's like I call you the same thing over and over and over again. You'd think that you would get a hint, but.
I don't know. I think at the other end of the spectrum, going super small, I think bacteria and all that stuff, partly conscious. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, like when you cut yourself, you don't think about anything, right? You don't think about, oh, I wish I healed, I got a scab and it heals and then I grow new skin.
And that's something that goes back to like, there's this two sides, like there's what evolution has given us. And it's not simple.
Yeah.
But it's not intelligent or it's not conscious, but it's not simple.
These things do have just one mission.
It's like there's a bunch of computer arms or robotic arms just kind of waiting for a situation. It gets sent a signal and it does this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's done this for 90% of the living species on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. When the signal's broken, then humans or animals become.
You have like a disease.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
a syndrome.
Yeah, and I mean, don't they say that our DNA has more in common with everything else than it differs? Like that the basic building blocks of life from bacteria on out is more similar than it is different.
I think so. I think there was something about like
our DNA from a fish.
Because people say like over 98% like
and
chimpanzees,
dinosaurs.
which is obviously the closest one. But I think even flowers is relatively high.
They all have the same four proteins: A, C, G, and what's the other one? A, C, G.
I mean, that's one thing that's kind of fascinating about our form of DNA is how we've achieved this type of intelligence while also using the same exact
A, T, G, and C. There you go. Yeah, adenine, thymine, guanine, and codicine. Cytosine. Cytosine. Damn.
It's literally, they're chemicals.
Yeah.
They're individual chemicals that link together. In
They're
this
proteins.
shape.
They're proteins.
Made of chemicals.
They're nucleotides.
Because chemicals is the most simplistic.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So those are the really like complicated.
I mean,
kind of
even
ropes
dinosaurs had this.
Like chemistry creates these.
Yeah.
And then these create life.
Yeah.
As far as we think. The first part.
And then imagine if a little bug on Saturn's moon had those same four.
See, that would blow the world away.
But would we really say that, or would it be because when the creation of Earth happened, a rock hit Earth, and then that bacteria was on the rock, and then the rock bounced off and floated, and then it crashed into Saturn's moon, and now we have what is it called? Space sperm. It's something. It's called. Planet.
Spermation?
spermination or something.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So technically it's just Earth over here on Earth, and then there's Earth over here on Saturn's moon.
Yeah, I mean, there's people even think.
So is that really life, or is it the same life?
Possibly.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's why what they want to do. They find it, they want to analyze the DNA and see if it actually came from Earth, or if we came from.
But how could you not question that with all of space? What if the whole creation, and then it just floated for millions and billions of miles, and then it's over here in planet.
Here's the thing.
That'd be one of the first questions.
If we find the exact DNA on another planet as Earth has, like the exact base DNA, it would be probably one of the biggest disappointments in the science community because they would have learned nothing. They would have gotten a lot more questions about the whole did it really evolve on its own here, or did, like you're saying, did it come from the same source as our life?
Yeah.
It would just raise questions, and it'd be such a disappointment. Like if we found something that was like similar to DNA, but like a completely different built makeup that can still accomplish the same similar goals, that would be a big discovery.
Yeah.
Scientists, I'm sure, would be stoked.
Man, what would that be though? Like you can't even.
We can't imagine.
I can't even imagine it.
Like,
I can't even create a story.
Like make up a color that you've never seen before.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess if you just give it enough time, the universe will create something.
It's had a long ass time.
Obviously.
And it's a big universe.
Obviously.
The probability.
Yeah, no, what's that called? The Fermi Paradox?
I'm not.
The whole thing about they've reduced how many stars there are in the universe, how many habitable planets are around those stars, and how many the chance of life being created on those habitable planets, and that likelihood is extremely high that life would have happened. Now that doesn't necessarily say intelligent life; that just means life. That's subject to evolution.
So the paradox is
that existence of extraterrestrial civilization.
The probability is so high, but we haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea is inevitably there's got to be life out there. It's just but that the Fermi Paradox doesn't exactly explain. It doesn't actually say they should be flying rockets around. They should be pointing telescopes.
I think that's why it's a paradox. So it raises a lot of questions, but there's a lot of interesting possibilities. One is just what if civilizations just never reach that point yet? What if they kill themselves before they reach that point? There's a lot of interesting thoughts to why we haven't seen them and why they aren't traveling this universe.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons why.
Here's another thing. If it's multidimensional, there's then what if this dimension that we're in is all the same, made up of all four of those DNA and protons, and then the next dimension is different. But any life that we find, whether it's on this side of the galaxy or on the completely opposite end, is the same. It's the exact same stuff.
I mean, that's an interesting
possible.
Thought.
Yeah.
Because
we could at least believe that if it's happened here, it could happen elsewhere.
Yeah.
The thing that's harder to believe is just something we've never seen before. But
because technically it's under the same law. Well, it might be under the same laws. Well, it should be, right?
Yeah, as far as
gravity.
The universe has the same laws all around it. I mean, gravity does fuck with things a bit, but it would fuck with things here as much as it does elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I forgot where
going with life and.
Oh yeah. Okay. So if the universe has these laws. Maybe our DNA is the only thing that can function in these laws to create life, where another dimension could potentially have different laws of physics, which could then result in different types of life.
Yeah.
Because there's really no reason to believe that other dimensions.
So that fucking shit's never happening. I mean, could you imagine we get out of this bubble? How do you even get out of the bubble? I mean, that's not happening.
I definitely think that's humanity's
solar
wall.
system.
Well, I meant the dimension.
The big bubble.
Oh.
We may get out of this small bubble that is our solar system, the Oort cloud, whatever it's called.
Possibly.
But yeah, I just don't see us ever.
I don't know about. Yeah.
We're 3-dimensional beings evolved on a planet. We're not going to go to another dimension.
Pretty blue planet.
It's very pretty. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
From far away.
From far away, yeah. Now when you zoom into these little fucks called humans.
Yep.
Well, sorry guys, looks like we didn't solve one of the greatest mysteries
of the universe.
We suck. But
hey,
next time, we promise, maybe.
No. All right. Thanks a lot, you guys.
All right, see you later.
Peace.